Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making this boutique style crochet bag, complete with a fabric lining and gold hardware. This is part 1, featuring the gold accents. But if you want a 100% crochet option, don't worry, in part 2, I will show you how to make this entirely out of yarn with no hardware at all. Grab your hook and let's get started. If you love tutorials, please take a quick second to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you will never miss my next project. For materials, I'm using a size 4 100% mercerized cotton in cream color. You also need a 2.5mm crochet hook, a measuring tape, scissors, a yarn needle, a few stitch markers, a zipper, and optionally a set of D-rings. First, we need to make 2 identical panels for the body of the bag. For my bag, I'm doing 6 pattern repeats. Each repeat requires 6 stitches. So to make the bag wider, just add 6 stitches extra for each additional pattern repeat. The width is about 19 cm, which is 7.5 inches. The height is about 12 cm, which is 4.75 inches. To start, make a slip knot. If you are making 6 pattern repeats like mine, then chain 36. Then add 4 more stitches. Make 1 double crochet into the 4th chain from your hook. Then make 1 double crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. You should have 38 stitches at the end of row 1. When you are done with row 1, chain 2 and turn your work. This chain 2 counts as your first double crochet. Make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then make 1 double crochet into every stitch until the end of row 2. When you reach the end of row 2, make 1 double crochet into the last stitch and make 1 double crochet into the chain 2 from row 1. For row 3, chain 2 and turn your work. Make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, then chain 5. Locate the 4th double crochet on row 1 and make a slip stitch. Then turn it sideways and make 6 single crochets into that 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then back to row 3, skip 1 stitch and make 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make a slip stitch to the 5th double crochet on row 1. And turn your work sideways and make 6 single crochets into that chain 5 space. Then back to row 3, skip 1 stitch and make 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Next, chain 5, then count the 5th double crochet from your previous slip stitch on row 1 and make a slip stitch into that 5th double crochet. And turn your work sideways and make 6 single crochets into that chain 5 space. Then back to row 3, skip 1 stitch and make 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 5 again, then make a slip stitch into the next double crochet on row 1. And turn your work sideways and make 6 single crochets into that chain 5 space. Then back to row 3, skip 1 stitch and make 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Keep repeating these steps until you reach the last 2 stitches of row 3. Use some stitch markers to mark the space between the 2 double crochets on row 3. Place 1 stitch marker here and 1 for the next space. Then complete row 3 by repeating the same steps to create your patterns. Once your last pattern loop is complete, make 1 double crochet into the last stitch and 1 double crochet into the top of the chain 2 from row 2. Take a quick look at your work. You should have 2 double crochets on each end of row 3. For row 4, chain 2 and turn your work. Make 1 double crochet into the next stitch. The next double crochet will be on top of the chain 5 and 6 single crochet from row 3. We will pick up these 2 loops for our third double crochet. Insert your hook from the bottom up and complete your double crochet as normal. The next 2 double crochets will be on top of the 2 double crochets from the previous row. Then 1 double crochet on top of the chain 5. Keep making your double crochets into the regular stitches and top of the chain 5 until you reach the end. You should have 38 double crochets at the end of row 4. Row 5, chain 2 and turn your work. Make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, then chain 5. We're going to make a slip stitch into the stitch marker. Insert your hook from the bottom up, then pull yarn over and make a slip stitch. And turn your work sideways and make 6 single crochets into that chain 5 space. Then skip 1 stitch and make 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Chain 5 again. Then make a slip stitch into the same space as the previous one. And turn your work sideways and make 6 single crochets into that chain 5 space. Then skip 1 stitch and make 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Then chain 5 and repeat the same steps as the previous pattern. put stitch markers into the space between the 2 double crochet on row 5. For the next row, you'll be making your pattern loops directly into the marked space where we placed our stitch markers. Keep repeating row 4 and 5 until you reach your desired height. For my size, I have repeated the pattern section until I have 7 full sets of these textural loops. Use your stitch markers to mark the corner stitches. Insert your hook back into the loop. We are going to make a row of single crochet around the border. Chain 1, then make 1 single crochet into that same space. We'll be making 2 single crochets into the edge of each row, so make 1 more single crochet into this same row. Then continue making 2 single crochets into each row until you reach the last row. Make 3 single crochets into this corner stitch. One, 2, and 3. Then make 1 single crochet into every stitch here. Make 3 single crochets into this corner stitch. Then make 2 single crochets into each row. Make 3 single crochets into this corner stitch. Make 1 single crochet into each of the 2 regular stitches and the top of the chain 5. Make 2 more single crochets into the corner stitch. Once you finish the single crochet border, double check the total stitch count on both sides of your panel. The count should always be 2 times your total number of rows. Since I did 15 rows, I have 30 single crochets on each side, excluding the corner stitches. Then pull yarn over and cut it off. Grab your yarn needle so we can make an invisible join here. Insert your needle through both loops of the very first single crochet and pull the yarn through. Then, insert your needle back down into just the back loop of the last single crochet. Then, weave the tail end to hide it. You can put your stitch markers back into the corners to make it easy to keep track of the back shape while we work. Now, make 1 more identical panel just like this for the body of the bag. Next, we're going to make the side band of the bag. To make sure our side band fits around the main panel, you need to count the total number of single crochet along both sides and the bottom. In my case, my total stitches are 102, so I will be making 51 rows for the side band. To make the side band, make a slip knot, then chain 10. Make 1 double crochet into the 4th stitch. Then make 1 double crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. You should have 8 double crochet for row 1, including the first chain 3. Row 2, chain 2 and turn your work. This chain 2 counts as your first double crochet. Make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then make 1 double crochet into every stitch until the end of round 2. Make 1 double crochet into the top of the chain 2, and turn your work. Make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, chain 5, then make a slip stitch into the 4th double crochet on row 1, and turn your work sideways and make 6 single crochets into that chain 5 space. Skip 1 stitch and make 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 5 and make a slip stitch to the 5th double crochet on row 1, and turn your work sideways and make 6 single crochets into that chain 5 space. Skip 1 stitch, then make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and make 1 last double crochet into the top of the chain 2. Round 4, chain 2 and turn your work. Make 8 double crochets for this row, the same way we did for the main panel. Use a stitch marker to mark the space between the 2 double crochet on row 3. Row 5, chain 2 and turn your work. Make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, then chain 5. Make a slip stitch into the stitch marker. And make 6 single crochets into that chain 5 space. Skip 1 stitch and make 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 5, then make a slip stitch into the same space as the previous one. Skip 1 stitch, then make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and make 1 last double crochet into the top of the chain 2. Repeat row 4 and 5 until you finish your side band and reach your total row count. When you reach your total row count, finish it off by making a row of single crochet for the border, the same way we did for the main panel. Make 2 single crochets into the edge of each row along the 2 long sides, and 1 single crochet into each stitch across the top and bottom. When you are done with that border, fasten off and cut your yarn. Then use the yarn needle to make an invisible join here. We will connect the two pieces along the left side first. Then we will work our way down across the bottom edge and go back up along the right side. To join the side band and the body panel together, we are only going to pick up one loop from each piece. Insert your hook into the back loop of the corner stitch on both pieces. Pull the yarn over and leave a long tail end to weave in later. Chain 1 and go through the 2 loops on each piece. Pull yarn all the way through. Repeat these same steps all the way around until you reach the top of the right side of the bag. When you reach the last stitch on the right side of the bag, make a slip stitch into both stitches. Then pull the yarn over, cut it off, and use your yarn needle to weave the tail end in securely. Then repeat the same steps for the second panel. When the border is complete, I'm going to add the frame for the zipper. I have already completed one side of the zipper frame. So now let's work on the other side together. Insert your hook right into that corner stitch where we connected the body panel and the side band together. Pull the yarn over to create your first loop. We're going to make a row of slip stitches along the inside of the bag here. Insert your hook into the next stitch. Pull the yarn over and glide it through. Keep making slip stitches all the way until you reach the end of the row. When you reach the other corner stitch where the panel and side band meet, chain 1 and turn your work. We are going to make one single crochet into every slip stitch we just created until the end of the row. If you are following my size, you should have a total of 40 single crochets for this row. When you are done with this row, chain 1 and turn your work. Continue making one single crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. Repeat the same steps for the next 3 rows. We want a total of 4 rows of single crochets for our zipper frame. Once you are done with both sides of the zipper frame, we are going to attach them to the side band and secure our D-rings at the same time. If you prefer not to use D-rings, don't worry. I have another video coming up soon showing how I complete this bag without them, so keep an eye out for that. Insert your hook into the first row of single crochet that we just made for the zipper frame. Pull the yarn over and make one single crochet into the same space. Make one single crochet into the edge of each row. When you reach the gap, chain 2 and then continue by making one single crochet into the edge of each row on the other side as well. You should have a total of 10 stitches, which will match with the 10 stitches on our side band. Chain 1 and turn your work. We are going to pick up the 2 loops that are closest to each other on each side. Pull the yarn over and pull it all the way through to slip stitch them together. Continue making slip stitches like this all the way to the end. We are going to close up the corner gap on this side first. I just take my yarn needle through the stitches around the gap and pull with a moderate amount of tension to snugly close the opening. When you are threading around these stitches, try to slide your needle right through the spaces between the stitches rather than splitting the yarn itself. Doing this keeps our work look neat and ensures your yarn can glide through smoothly without getting snagged. Once you are satisfied that the gap is completely closed, pull your yarn through to double the strength. For extra strength, just make sure to leave a small tail end at the side so we can weave it in neatly later. Then, I thread the needle to the inside of the bag and pull the yarn tail through and bring it back out, leaving the tail end on the inside so it's easier to weave in later. Next, slide your needle right through the D-ring, then insert the needle into the corner stitch, going from the top to bottom, and pull the yarn tight. to secure the D-ring in place. Insert your needle into the next stitch, also going from the top to bottom. Keep going stitch by stitch, like this until the end of the row. As you are threading, use your fingers to gently adjust the yarn on the D-ring so the strands lay flat and side by side. When you reach the other end of the D-ring, close up the gap on this side too. Once this side is done, repeat the same steps for the other side of the bag to attach your second D-ring. Once you are done with both D-rings, we will make a fabric lining. You can skip this step if you feel your bag is already sturdy enough, but a lining is amazing for hiding any uglies on the inside, and it just makes the whole bag feel so much cleaner and more organized. I measured the size of the body panels and the width of the outside side band. I recommend deducting a few centimeters from your measurements, as my finished lining turned out a bit too big for the bag's interior. Next, cut out 5 pieces of fabric, 2 for the body panels, 2 for the side bands, and 1 for the bottom. Then, use sewing pins to keep everything in place and sew them all together. Then, place your finished lining inside the bag with the wrong side facing out. Adjust the lining straight up so it sits about 1 row away from the zipper frame. Since my lining turned out a bit too wide for the inside, I'm just going to fold the excess fabric right here at the side to make it fit nice and snug against the bag. Then, use a regular sewing needle and matching thread to sew the lining in place all the way around the top edge. For our next step, we're going to sew the zipper in. Use sewing pins to keep the zipper in place along the frame so it doesn't shift around. Then use a regular needle and matching thread to sew it securely into place. And our boutique style crochet bag is complete. Don't forget part 2 is coming up next. I'll show you how to create the custom crochet strap. Thank you so much for spending your precious time with me today. I truly hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.